retired in 1993. I was making $17.10 an hour, right? And I retired. Now they said I was making 30 and 40. Sometimes some people said I was making as much as $70 an hour. That's bull. There's nobody in the GM plant or any other plant would make that kind of money. You know what I mean? An hour. No one. And when just here recently, after they shut the plant down, they was making $21 an hour. All right? But they was paying a lot of stuff out of that $21 that people don't know about. In 1990, when I hired there in 1962, you couldn't get a person that was born and raised in Wilmington to work in that plant. It was all outside people because nobody else would work. They wouldn't work there because the work was so hard. And these guys that blabbering their mouth on these radio stations and all that stuff about GM workers and Chrysler workers, Ford workers, they wouldn't work in that. They wouldn't last 2 hours in that plant. They would work 2 hours in that plant and they'd walk out. It's just that simple. It takes a hell of a man to work in that plant and do the work that they had to do for the money that they was paid. When I first started there, you got a 6-minute break to go to the bathroom. 6 minutes. Then we raised it to 12 minutes. When I left there, we was getting 18 minutes to go to the bathroom and refresh yourself or whatever you had to do. But hey, these people outside, they don't know that. You had to stay on that job. You worked in cycles. You worked like 54 seconds every minute. Out of every minute, you worked. And the only reason you didn't work the other 3 or 4 minutes was because you were running from your bench back to the car, you know, to put the parts on the car. These people outside, they're crazy. They're jealous. They're jealous because we sat down and we bargained and looked ahead to what the future was. And like when you negotiate, it's like a pie. You say, yeah, okay, give us this much. So they give you that, and you split it up. You split that. They give you that raise. Okay, we're going to give you $1, say $1 raise. Okay, good. And you take that dollar and you split that dollar up. So much goes for your pension. So much goes for your Blue Cross and Blue Shield. All right? You know, and so much goes for this. So much goes for that. You know, and then it's all split up and it's broke down. You don't get that money put in your pocket. That money goes to pay for your benefits. GM actually is not paying for those benefits. That dollar that they give you and you split it up, it goes into a big fund where they're drawing all this interest on it, and that's how they pay for the benefits. It actually, in reality, it's not costing them a nickel to pay for the benefits that you get. And we got good benefits, but our people were smart enough to sit down, right, and negotiate things for us that we needed. When I first started GM, I paid for my Blue Cross. I had to pay for gloves if I had to use gloves. If I had to use rubber boots, I had to pay for rubber boots. They didn't furnish that stuff. We had to sit down and negotiate it. You had to work in water. Whatever clothes you come in that plant with, that's what you wore. They didn't have nothing to put on you. Right? You had to buy your stuff. Then we sit down across the table, like people are supposed to be, and sit there and talk and negotiate. We need this, we need that. You know. And we have struck. Yeah, we struck out there. I was involved in 6 strikes. And proud of it. If it comes down to it, if I'm living, if they have to have another one, I'd be glad to go right in there with them. And I would. But these people, they got to wise up. This government has taken everything we got, and we're going to be a third-rate country, and we're going to be living here in this United States like those people are living over in Egypt, right? And Iran and all those places, Iraq. That's what they want us to do. They don't want us to be on their golf courses. 1964, when Lyndon Johnson was president, I made more money that year than I ever made the whole time I worked at GM. But I put in a lot of hours. But I could go on their golf course if I wanted to, right? I mean, the Republicans are bad people, but they're bad. They ain't no good and they're worse. When I come back from Korea in 1954, Eisenhower was the president, you couldn't buy a job. If you had the money to pay for a job, you couldn't get a job. That's how bad it was, because the Republicans were in there. And he lied like hell. Everybody thinks he was the greatest person in the world. He said, oh yeah, I told these women, mothers, well, I'll bring your boy back. I'll bring your boy back. Right? Elect me president, I'll bring it back. He did. And they had the armistice over in Korea. Right? They had it. It was good. They brought a bunch of people back. Right? But it didn't create no jobs for them. And the same way it's going to happen here. When this Iraq war and all that's done, what are these people going to do when they come back? They ain't got no jobs. What are they going to do? Where are they going to get money from? You draw unemployment for so long, and once you draw you out, what do? You starve, don't you? You ain't got no money. So that's why you got all this thieving and stealing and all that going on around. So some of these towns you can't even go in, man. At nighttime, you take a chance on getting robbed or getting shot. Can't keep it. And you can sit up there. 28 people last year killed in Rome. Why? They're out trying to make a living the best way they knew how. Feed their family. If it's drugs or whatever it is. Whatever they're doing. They're making a living. It might be illegal. But it's like Baltimore. 17 cops down there they locked up. What was they doing? Huh? Did you read about it in the paper? Yeah. What did they do? They got them, didn't they? They had a little monopoly going on making extra money. They didn't care. And they ride around in their big cars, right? Doing all kinds of crime going on, but they won't get out of the car to try to stop them. Unless you've got 10 or 50 of these high-ranking honcho people that, that they first thing they do is shoot you. They don't ask no question, they just shoot and keep right on going. There's been a number of cases in Rome where they shot people and killed them for no reason, really. But then they hunk up a story. Oh, this guy was doing this. He had this in his hand, or he had that in his hand in his pocket and all that. But that gave them a reason to shoot, and they got away with it. Right out and out murder, they got away with it. Right? And they promoted the guy that killed him. This guy served 3 terms over in Iraq, decorated. Right? They killed him. Right? What happened? The guy did nothing. Hey, I love my country. I love my country, but I don't like a lot of people in it. The American people won't fight until they get pushed in the corner. This government is pushing us in a corner. They're going to come out. They're going to come out. They ain't going to put up with it. They did it way back when the country was first started, when George Washington was the president, right on up through the line. And it's going to happen because they're pushing the American people too much. They're taking too much. We're paying over like 56 cents on a dollar for taxes right now. Right? And they want more. And in Nuremberg, I know a little bit about Nuremberg too, the trials over there. The German officers they said this: if we had the American troops and the German officers, we'd rule the world. Right? And when they take our guns away from us in this country, look out. We'll be picking up peanuts, right? And doing whatever they tell us to do. It's like a dictatorship. It's coming to that.